Now at 5, with closing arguments finished, Jeremy Washington's future is now in the hands of the jury. Good evening, everyone. It has been a year and a half since Bishop Dwenger student Haley Nellam was killed in a horrific crash. But for the last 8 days, her family has had to relive the tragedy through a complex and intense trial for the man charged with her death, Jeremy Washington. News Channel 15 Sara Wagner has covered the case for us. She is live in downtown Fort Wayne now with the latest. Sara?
As you can imagine, it's really been a roller coaster of emotions here at the Allen County Courthouse today. From sarcasm to tears, we really heard it all in both the closing arguments of both the prosecution and the defense. Before an absolutely packed courtroom, the prosecution talked about how Washington fired several shots that night, hurting Chad Jackson, and how the one final shot was his car killing Haley. The prosecution said, quote, "It's interesting that the only people he hurt were the ones he didn't have a beef with that night." A major question throughout the trial is whether or not Washington acted in self-defense. The prosecution pointed out that every piece of physical evidence proves Washington was the only person with a gun that night. Washington's attorney started crying several times throughout her presentation, asking the jury to not find him guilty on the charges associated with the shooting. She maintains the other men involved in that shooting came after Washington first. When she started talking about the crash, she became very emotional, and so did several members of the jury. She said, quote, "Her body was broken, and we pray that she didn't suffer, and that's the most tragic ending that anyone can imagine." But then she pleaded with the jury to, quote, "make this decision based on the evidence and not on the tragedy of her lost life." The judge handed this case over to the jury around 12:45 this afternoon. Deliberations are still going on at this hour, and of course we'll bring you a verdict as soon as we have it. Reporting live outside the Allen County Courthouse, Sara Wagner, News Channel 15.